Parenting cannot be delayed, cannot be delegated, and cannot be postponed. Raising a balanced child is the greatest of the gifts that you can give to your child. Raising a child who can navigate through the challenges of the daily living. A child who's empowered in terms of life skills, in terms of esteem, in terms of confidence. A child who understands their career and already know how to navigate through their career path. A great child who can be able to have assertiveness and the ability to say no. Even when others are like, you must do it, this child can equally say a very firm no. Then you are in the right place. My name is Teacher Monica, an education consultant on matter CBC curriculum or CBE education system. I am a psychologist, particularly interested in child development. Do you know of a person who has a child who's suffering from ADHD or any special needs, autism, dyslexia, dysgraphia, name them, and they do not know how to raise this particular child? Then you are at home. We will explore all these things in this particular page and make a difference in your child's life journey. This is season 1, where we will navigate through parenting. And in this particular episode, we will look at parenting styles. By the way, wewe ni mzazi type gani? Are you the kind that you bow to the threats and tantrums that are raised by the children? Or you are the firm one, the tough one? Yeah, when you say no, it's a no. What kind of a parent are you? This will help, the parenting styles will help us understand what kind of a parent you are, where you need to adjust and where you need to improve on. We have 4 main parenting styles. We have the authoritative parenting style, we have the authoritarian parenting style, we have the permissive parenting style, and we have the uninvolved parenting style. Let's start with the uninvolved parenting style. An uninvolved parent is majorly an absent parent who offers very little guidance or does not nurture the child in any manner. Do you know there are parents who are physically present but they are uninvolved? For instance, being uninvolved means you do not influence anything in your child's life. Ideally, you do not even know your child. You do not help them in their schoolwork, so you even don't understand what they go through in school. You do not even know what are their aspirations in life. You do not understand your child. To a greater extent, you find a house help or a house manager understands the child better than the actual parent. Parents who are also absent, physically absent, maybe you have delegated the responsibility of parenting to either your parents, so they live with the grandparents, or together with someone else. And this is a person who takes care of the child. So your impact in your child's life is not felt. And sometimes children who are raised by an uninvolved parents, they have a lot of stigma and self-esteem issues because they do not have someone to run to. Ideally, the gadgets, the phones, the screens are denying children their parents because parents are literally uninvolved to even offer counsel and discipline to their children. The permissive parent is this kind of parent, and they are very common in Kenya. The kind of parent who adhere to whatever they spoil, the parents who like spoiling the child. This is a parent who is the parenting that is child driven. It is what the child wants. So if the child wants to be taken to the park, you take them to the park. If they go to the supermarket and they want you to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, it is that which you'll buy because you are permissive. Your work is to spoil the child. And a child who is majorly spoiled by the parent becomes a major problem for you to offer discipline and counsel and guidance to this particular kind of a child because you rarely enforce rules there at home. You find a permissive parent will even come to fight in school because the child was given a negative reinforcement by the teacher there at school, simply because they feel, why are they doing this to my child? You find a child says, oh mommy, you know so and so did this to me. You almost want to come to school and check who is that so and so, because this parenting is child driven, very risky. The kind of a child that is being raised by a permissive parent. A child who's raised by a permissive parent is an unruly child, is a very disorderly child, is a self-centered child. They think life revolves around them, and counseling this child becomes a problem. A child who's raised by a permissive parent does not know how to live, to coexist with the rest of the children, because they live in an environment where whatever they ask, they get. So when this is denied to them, they cannot accommodate that. They also become very bad bullies in school. A child who wants to pull down other children, it's a very risky parenting style. An authoritarian parenting style, this is very common to most of you. This is a parenting where our parents were so strict. It is a parent-driven parenting style, and what the parent says is an order, is a rule. This is a kind of parents when you would go home and say, oh daddy, you know we have a trip Nairobi, elfu tatu kwenda Nairobi. They abadan katan, I'm not going to pay for that trip. Whether you cry, whether you mourn, whether you say you'll kill yourself, they would tell you, hang yourself and I'll bury you without a funeral, and you'll do nothing to them. It's a very risky parenting styles, because you put fear, you instill fear in a child. And children who are raised by parents who are very strict, they don't listen to the voice of the children. There's something the child knows that you do not know. And children, though closed in a small body, they have feelings, they have emotions, they have perceptions, just like an adult. So authoritarian kind of parenting limits the child from telling you what they would want. And most of the time, even some of these Gen Z you see around have been raised by this kind of a parent who even forced them to pursue a career they didn't want. And they feel like, I was pursuing this career for my parents because that's what you wanted. Authoritarian parents do not discuss anything with the child. And children live in atmosphere, they have low self-esteem. The children hide a lot of things from you. You literally hear that so and so, your child so and so did this and this, and you are like, no, my child cannot do that, because you have instilled too much fear and you have not opened yourself to listen from a point of understanding with your child. The best of the parenting style is the authoritative parenting. This is parenting that balances, that is balanced. You're able to solve problems. You listen to your child. You set rules together with your children. You allow to listen to their perspective and their attitudes. By so doing, this parenting style is one of the best, because a child feels empowered. You give your child like what equity gives to people, the wings to fly. You give your child literally wings to navigate through life, because the children knows, in this I have support from my parents. I was listening to the women rep from Kirinyaga, this one, the one called Gasheri, and Gasheri was like, anything I want to do, I usually go to my dad and tell them this is all, my parents, and tell them this is what I do, I want to do, and they support, they give me support. They would tell me, if this is exactly what you want, Gasheri, we are going to support you. That is the kind of parenting I'm talking about, where you listen to your child, you listen to what they want to be, you get to know, you even know their friends, you know the parents of their friend, you are completely involved, you have influence, but you also give your child a chance to be themselves. Great parenting. You prepare an independent child, an empowered child, a critical thinker, a problem solver, and a child who is ready to explore, because they know they have the backing back at home. Now that we understand the parenting styles and the implication that they have in a child's life, what then can we do as parents to become better parents? Number one, it will start by you understanding your child. Have quality time or one-on-one time with your child, and let your child critique you. Parenting is a relationship, a structural, an objective, an intentional, deliberate relationship between the child and the parent. And even if you are raising 10 children, you are parenting to different children. It's different because children have different personality. For you to become a better parent, you need to understand the personality of your child. And for you to understand the personality of your child, it is important to create time with your child. Have one-on-one time, a physical time with your child. And possibly as a parent, ask your child, do you think there are things I do that I can improve as a parent? And please do not be judgmental. It is, we listen, but we don't judge. Allow your child tell you things that they do not like. They will tell you, Mom, I'm looking forward if you would be available to visit me more frequently in school. Or Mom, you could come home earlier. Or Mom, you could listen to me when I tell you 1, 2, 3, 4. That will help you know that I don't listen enough. Or my child is craving for my physical presence. That one-on-one time with your child, there's a lot of communication that happens when you have one-on-one time. Majorly the body language. You can tell how happy the child clings to you when you are present. Number 2, set rules with your child. When you are setting rules with your child, you'll be able to know what is it that they like, what is it that they do not like. Tell your child to outline their priorities. By outlining their priorities, you will know what worldviews they would want to have. And this will help you understand or dig deeper on who your child is, what they want to be, where they want to go, and what kind of a parent they look from you. The other very important thing is you as a parent investing in your education, getting to understand the behaviors of the current child. Have you ever Googled or hata utafute pale kwa ChatGPT the characters of a Gen Alpha? These children are very vocal. They are critical thinkers. They are problem solvers. They know their rights. They understand so many things that you do not know. And sometimes raising them requires you to have enough grace and understand what can really work, because there are notions you bring that will not work because they are more traditional. So it is important for you as a parent to invest heavily on getting to understand the dynamics, the norms of the current child. That's why the child is like, when you're shouting, they are like, Mom, you don't even look nice. Why are you shouting? Why are you shouting at me? I'll still get it if you talk slowly. The parents who are raised in 90s will feel like it's an insult, but it is not. Ideally, you can tell me to stop doing something when you come. Must you shout? I'll still get it. So these are the dynamics of the current child. They understand. There are those children who are even complaining because of the name you have given them. Do you know, according to the Kenyan Constitution, children are entitled to a name. And if I was to add something in that Constitution, a good and a deliberate name. There are these kind of names you give your children. The children are like, I would want my name to be changed. So for you to change these things, please understand the dynamics of the current child. And by so doing, you parent them right. There's a lot of information out there on the behaviors of the Gen Alpha and the Gen Zs, and possibly what can be changed. For instance, if we were talking about raising a teenager, a parent who is let's single out like raising a teenager. There are 4 challenges or a teenager goes through, all 4 storms. A teenager wants to establish identity. They want to be like, nijulikane mimi ni nani, nataka kuchukua ango gani ya maisha. They want to establish identity. If you are an authoritarian kind of a parent and the child wants to have identity, they will become rebellious because they want an identity. So you have to be authoritative and operate from a point of understanding. So see, for example, the ones who go to different churches and possibly the church dictates the kind of dressing. You'll find a teenager wants now, in my identity, I don't want to dress this way, like how people dress in my church, and wants to take a certain level of dressing. If you bring strictness of authoritarian, the child will rebel and wear miniskirt and crop top. But if you are authoritative, you will give the child a chance to choose, but still guide on the element of decency and modesty. Because this teenager wants to establish identity. So sometimes he may not go with what you have been insisting. A teenager wants to establish autonomy. They want to have independence. They want to be particular on their dressing code. I don't know whether you have seen the current Gen Z. They have an issue with their hair. So a parent of 90s and 80s who thinks a great child is the one who shaves like this, it will not work. They have a great relationship with their hair. They want shaggy hair is a fashion for them. So you come with the authoritarian in this home, you'll be surprised. They will dye it white. And there is no way you're going to take them. Because these are the current changes in the society. They are kind of dressing. Have you seen them wear sweatpants that are baggy and baggy things and t-shirts that are baggy? And ideally you're going with this child maybe to church and wonder, what kind of dressing is this? By the way, when it comes to their shoe, it is either a very good shoe or they go to Crocs. See, kitu iko hapa katikati, kiatu haiwezi itwa jina. They are very specific. There is change even in the fashion. So you cannot just stamp your chest and say it has to be done this way. It will not work. It will backfire on your doorstep because they want to establish autonomy. They want to feel independent on the decisions they make. And that independence means, are you going to buy a shoe for them? Don't go buy a shoe and bring home. Involve them, go with them. They will tell you, you'll be surprised. The kind of shoe you thought is what they would want is different from what they want. Or you are buying clothes for them. You will be very surprised because teenagers and fashion is something different. So they want to establish autonomy. A parent needs to understand a teenager has an issue with appetite. Kanaangalia mkate mzima hivi. Anashindwa, what wrong with my parents? This whole blade, anaiangalia 7 slices, anajua naweza zifinya hivi, na niko tu sawa peke yangu. Because the appetite is very high. Because of the nature of the growth that is happening in their body. So a parent to a teenager will understand, it is time for food. Wekeni chakula nyumbani over the holiday. Teenagers kazi yao ni kukula. Wanakula mpaka nyanya ile umeweka ya kutayarisha chakula. Because it's the appetite. You will not complain because you understand it is triggered by the appetite. So make food available. They are also establishing intimacy. A teenager wants to have specific relationship. If it's a girl, he wants to have specific girls as their friend. Not like when you are a child and everything was your friend. You go to school and he's my friend, this is my friend. For a teenager, they are specific on their friends because they are establishing intimacy. In establishing intimacy, it is important for them to understand sexual education. Get to understand what extent can they not go when they want to establish intimacy, because that will help them establish correct relationship. That is the time you sit your child down and discuss this tough conversation in terms of intimacy. At the same time, when we talk of autonomy, they want to go partying. They want to join their friends. So as you set your rules, make sure that it is not too firm, because there are parents who have made their children choose long intimate affairs because of the kind of pressure they put on their children. So the children play safe, but actually they are doing what you have not socialized them to become. So parenting style is tailored, should be encompassed on the empowerment that you have as a parent. Read about teenage, get to know what happens to them. A parent who just sits at home, there are apps. You have to understand these apps, parent. These children have apps like Talkie, where you're very lonely, you're not quiet at home and you don't know how to, and you want to feel like you have a boyfriend. A grade 3 child told me, teacher, I don't even go out. I talk with my friend Talkie. I think it's an AI app where children, they can have a lot of, conversation with like a presumed someone on the other end. And you see, this conversation, it's not like it has to be tailored to be very good. It will depend with what the child brings on the table. It's what the app will bring to them. So it's important for parents to understand these things, so that even as you give gadgets to your children, you understand what apps are they exploring, what are the implications of this, so that you're able to understand all these things aloud. Information is out there. Go and empower yourself as a parent. So in summary, as a parent, consider the following to change your parenting styles. Number 1, be available and pleasant for your child to offer counsel and guidance. Number 2, understand, be involved in your child's life. Get to understand your child, critically analyze them, get to know their personalities and every stuff that revolves around them. Number 3, purpose to look for information. Be educated, be an empowered parent who understands this information and who looks for the same information. Set rules and establish boundaries at home. When you set rules, and explain these rules to them. Set rules and explain your rules to them. Around this page, we'll be coming to discuss the parenting styles, and we will look at some of these rules and how we can do these things. But let's set rules and establish boundaries. Be involved in your child's life. Be there, be available, be pleasant, be impactful, and most importantly, be intentional. Hold on here for more discussion around parenting.
That's an outro.
Mentorship only gets better with Chicha Monica.
Fantastic. Hi.